Hi everyone, happy Friday. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight to your News at 9. I'm going to hear from area experts on how to prepare your car and home for the upcoming sub-zero temperatures. Plus, how you can help animals stay out of those cold temperatures and find a new permanent home.
The groundhog didn't lie. It looks like much of the country is in for another dose of winter weather. I'm Marianne Rafferty. More on the latest snowfall and storm warnings coming up.
Doug Heady has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Obby. Dangerous temperatures as we end the work week for many of us. Meteorologist Doug Heady joins us now.
Hey, Jordan. Extremely cold outside for us really all week long, but it's getting colder each day. Today we only made it up to 15. Yesterday we made it up to 17. Wednesday we were in the 20s, so we're going in the wrong direction. But look at our average high. It's 50 degrees, so we are 35 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. Wind chill warnings in effect are advisories. Winter storm watches, winter storm warnings in northeastern Oklahoma as we head into a weekend that we're going to have kind of a mess across the region. Even outside, we've had light snow most of the evening, and we've even picked up a dusting across the region. We're going to continue to see this tonight. These bands of light little snow continuing to roll through. Also dangerously cold temperatures. You can see most of us right around 10 degrees, even upper single digits, but wind chill factors now -5 to about -10. We haven't even gotten into the snow that's going to move in tomorrow night into Sunday, so we'll do that here in about 10 minutes.
Thank you. With these extreme low temperatures, it's important to be prepared if you do get snowed in next week. Joplin Emergency Manager Keith Stammer recommends dripping those faucets to prevent pipes from freezing. He also says instead of wearing a big coat, just one, consider layering up with jackets and shirts to keep warm.
Yeah, we would encourage people not to panic, not to be worried about this. We are talking about the next several days, but it's not like it's going to be a month.
Also, don't forget about that car. This is video of one of our station cars. Actually, those are hand warmers. We might have video of our station car a little bit later. Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff David Groves recommends keeping some emergency items in your car, like those hand warmers, jumper cables, tow ropes for that matter. Also consider having a cell phone charger, first aid kit, water, blankets, some extra warm clothes on hand.
It may not be a formal kit. It may just be, jumper cables or a blanket that they threw in there or an extra coat, something like that. They're less panicked and they're able to withstand those conditions for longer.
Now, another piece of advice, keep a bag of kitty litter or sand in your trunk, just in case you get stuck and your tires can't get enough traction. Carthage Humane Society needs foster homes. Workers there say there's good and bads going on right now. Dogs are being picked up, brought out of those dangerous cold temperatures. That's the good, but the Humane Society doesn't have enough room for all of these animals.
As the weather gets worse, we will be trying to take in more intakes. So right now we're full. We're still taking intakes because we're asking for people to help us foster some of these animals that are ready to go out, and they're healthy. They've been spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and everything else.
You can call the Carthage Humane Society to offer being an animal foster home. If no one answers, you're being told to just leave a message. Someone will contact you shortly. Many residential trash collection companies have already altered their schedules because of winter weather. Oftentimes the companies will post these changes on their social media accounts, or you can call your local city hall for more information. Republic Services in Joplin in particular says they are closely monitoring next week's weather as well. Winter is not backing down as much of the country is bombarded by snow, sleet, and ice. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty looks at the dangerous weather conditions and how drivers were faring.
Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow all right as winter weather continues plaguing parts of the country. Much of the West Coast remains under a winter storm warning, with snowfall in Washington State and Oregon expected into the weekend. Forecasters are predicting more than a foot in some places. Eastern Washington is already under a blanket of white, with blizzard conditions causing a fair share of accidents and traffic jams Thursday.
I'm only about less than 4 miles away from the house, and I've already been in traffic for an hour.
The slick conditions were a challenge for many drivers trying to navigate the dangerous roads.
the car started to go into the slide, and I thought, okay, I'll just go into a managed turn, but it kept sliding.
In Oregon, blustery winds whipped up snow, making it hard to see. No matter where the snow is coming down, local authorities are singing a similar tune, advising the best way to stay safe is by staying off the roads. Plenty of non-motorists were able to actually enjoy the storm.
What is it like to just feel the power of Mother Nature?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Over in the Midwest, snowplows seem to outnumber cars in Ohio, a thick dusting of powder stopping many vehicles in their tracks. It's not just the West or Midwest. The Mid-Atlantic region and Northeast are expecting their own share of stormy weather, though mostly sleet and freezing rain. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
The Parsons, Kansas Police Department arrested a Chanute man for alleged child sex crimes. Authorities say 25-year-old Wesley Huffman had inappropriate contact with a minor. Huffman is charged with aggravated indecent liberties with the child. If convicted, he's going to face a minimum sentence of 55 months or around 4.5 years in prison. Senators are going to be back in session tomorrow morning to decide whether to convict former President Trump of a single impeachment charge of inciting an insurrection. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports now from Washington.
In a brutal back and forth Friday night, House managers and defense lawyers battled for the votes of senators who will decide the fate of former President Donald Trump.
He incited that mob. He lit the match. Come on, get real.
In hours of questioning by senators on Friday, House managers and former President Trump's lawyers painted a very different picture of Mr. Trump's actions on January 6th.
He advocated for peaceful, patriotic protests.
Now senators must decide whether to convict Trump on the impeachment charge of inciting an insurrection. House managers say that Trump's actions directly led to the riot on Capitol Hill just over a month ago.
To think that somehow a rabbit came out of a hat and this mob just showed up here on their own, all by themselves. This is dangerous, senators.
But defense lawyer Michael Vanderveen told the senators the riot was the work of criminals, not the former president.
The attack on the Capitol was pre-planned. It didn't have anything to do with Mr. Trump.
Just before adjourning for the night, there was one moment of agreement in the chamber when the Senate voted to give the Congressional Gold Medal to Capitol Hill police officer Eugene Goodman, who was instrumental in leading rioters away from members of Congress. A conviction still remains a long shot. 17 Republican senators would have to join all of the Democrats in voting to convict. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor one of our four-state heroes, Clifford Baker, served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 46. Native of Joplin, Baker was stationed in New Guinea. He earned a Purple Heart, also a Bronze Star, and we are proud to thank Sergeant Clifford Baker. He is tonight's four-state hero. Doug Caddy's next with a complete look at the forecast. But later in sports, Frontenac seniors signing to join the Pitt State football program. Gonna have details in sports.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another nasty cold day for us today. Temperatures have been struggling to warm up all week long. We've had the light snow, we had the ice earlier this week, and we're going to get more as we head into the weekend. In fact, if you can see what's on the screen, that's called a QR code, and what that you can do with it, that's our Skywatch weather app, which this is the time you want it, especially around here because we get all kinds of crazy weather. So what you can do is open up your camera, you can point it right at that QR code, and you'll download the Skywatch weather app, which is something you'll definitely want over the next couple days. There's constant updates on it, plus it's geocoded to your exact location, so just a great tool to have, which we are trying to help and provide, which is free to all of our viewers. But let's go ahead and jump into the forecast outside. Great time lapse of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Haven't seen the sun in 5 days, 6 days actually, and we're not going to see it really anytime soon. Temperatures super cold. Most of us 8 to about 10 degrees right now. Then you factor in the light wind, gets even worse. Feels like -8 on Iola, -2 in Chanute, -1 in Neosho. Stockton, it feels like -6. Wind chill advisories in effect. On the Kansas and the Arkansas side, winter storm watches. In Oklahoma, winter storm warning. In Missouri, we don't have any winter weather advisory, but I do expect that we get one. as we head into the next day or so. We're also getting some light snow across the region. We could pick up a light little dusting. We've already had at least a dusting across the region. This isn't going to cause a lot of issues. It's a very powdery snow. It just kind of blows around. But we are going to get a little bit of a dusting of snow as this weak little band, mainly to our north, passes by throughout the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's go ahead and we'll go out to the west. Our next storm system is building, and that's the one that's going to roll in as we head into the weekend. So light snow showers tonight, flurries for us tomorrow, but look how this band of snow rolls in. This is 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. We'll get a band Sunday morning, maybe a little bit of a break Sunday afternoon. Another band's going to roll in as we head into Sunday night, and then a third band will try to roll in by the time we head into Monday. So this storm system is going to come out in 3 segments, but the problem is temperatures are going to be so cold, anything that falls is definitely going to stick across all the roads around the entire viewing area. For us tomorrow, we don't really warm up, maybe even a hair cooler than what we saw today. 11 by noon, high temp 15 at best. Then we start to get light snow working in. Late tomorrow night, I wouldn't be surprised if it works in on the Kansas side as early as 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Light snow continues through Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, maybe a little bit of a break. It wouldn't be much of a break. And then we get bands of snow rolling in Sunday night into Monday morning. Here comes that third wave as we head into Monday. But look at the temperatures. This is 2 p.m. on Monday. We're sitting at 1 degree. So this is extremely dangerous cold conditions across the region. So what about snowfall totals? This would be for Sunday night into Monday. I think most of us are going to be in that 3 to 6 inch range. The latest data has popped it up a little bit higher. I'm going to keep it at 3 to 6, but we may have to alter that a little bit tomorrow. But I would say easily a solid 3 or 4 for everybody in isolated higher amounts. 15 tomorrow, only 8 on Sunday, down to -7 Sunday night, and a high temp of 3 on Monday. Now, if we clear out a little bit, get some clear skies Monday night, we're going to bottom out at -10, -15 degrees. So this is a lot of cold, and it's not going anywhere. I don't even think we'll get near freezing until next Friday, which is a week away.
Yeah, and that's something, you got ice, we had ice, and then cold, and then more cold, and then snow, and more snow. It's just been one winter thing after another.
Yeah, it's time. We're ready for spring.
Yeah, catch you in a little bit. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, more access to COVID vaccines.
Large chain pharmacies across the nation have officially started offering COVID-19 vaccines at their retail locations. I'm Zach Dodge with what it can mean for our area, coming up.
Chain pharmacies nationwide start offering coronavirus vaccines. That includes Barton County, Missouri, where KOAM Zach Dodge spoke with the local health department.
Thousands of additional doses of coronavirus vaccines are coming to Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies have contracted with all 3 states to provide vaccines, with Walmart saying they will require appointments since supply is still not quite keeping up with demand. Lamar's Walmart is one of the 7 in our viewing area in Missouri. For the Barton County Health Department, it's a big step in the right direction and a welcome reprieve after several stressful months.
We're excited about that. We've said from the very beginning that it's going to take a community-wide effort to get anything done.
For almost a year now, the health department has dealt with contact tracing, fielding calls and questions from residents, and has started doing vaccinations. The department's first shipment of 200 doses came in last week.
Tell everybody it's kind of a grind in a way because it's just unrelenting. And it has been. I mean, we've been basically at this for a year.
According to the state health department, the supply going to Walmart is coming straight from the federal supply, meaning more vaccines for the entire area.
We work with our local hospital very well, and they're a partner of ours in so many things. Our pharmacies do a great job locally here as well, and to see Walmart involved in the game. I mean, they bring their own resources to it that others don't have. That helps everyone. So we're excited about it.
In Barton County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services says as vaccine availability increases, more retail pharmacies are going to start receiving doses. Walmart says eligible residents will be able to schedule appointments online once those appointments become available, of course. The COVID-19 vaccination project is still accelerating, with the 7-day average now well over 15 million shots a day. This despite widespread shortages still being reported across the country. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more now from Atlanta.
Federal health officials say the biggest vaccination project in American history is accelerating. More than 68 million doses shipped and 46 million administered. Only about 3.5% of the total population is fully covered so far, but the White House says new deals announced Thursday will have the whole country vaccinated by late July or early August, despite widespread shortages being reported in major cities.
This has never been done before, and our hope is that we'll be able to by at the end of the summer, everybody have, almost everybody, 300 million.
The spread of 2 new COVID strains lending urgency to the vaccination push. The highly contagious UK strain is now in more than 36 states, and the South African strain is spreading quickly as well. But Dr. Anthony Fauci says the vaccines should be effective against the worst infections caused by the variants.
When you looked at serious disease, severe disease, particularly hospitalizations and deaths, there was rather substantial protection.
And with hospitalizations now at their lowest levels in 3 months, more cities and states are getting folks back to work, including New York, where indoor dining resumes Friday at 25% capacity.
It's a bit of a morale boost. I think it's a big boost for New York City because, what drives New York is really the culture.
And the CDC issued new guidance on Friday saying people who have been fully vaccinated for 2 weeks do not need to quarantine if they're exposed to the virus. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
Just ahead, there are new concerns of infrastructure security after a hacker breached a Florida city's water management system. Years, infrastructure has been in the background of politics, but with the news of a plan to poison a Florida town's water supply, lawmakers are now taking a real look, a good close look at infrastructure security. Fox News national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin takes a look at the fragility of utilities.
We want to talk about infrastructure.
President Biden met with a bipartisan group of senators to talk about how to fix the nation's potholes and aging infrastructure. But it's not clear how they plan to address the increasing cyber attacks on the nation's public networks, especially its water supply. On Capitol Hill, cyber experts debated who is responsible for the cyber attack on a small Florida town's water treatment facility.
It's possible that this was an insider or a disgruntled employee. It is also possible that it was a foreign act.
Iran has shown itself very interested in water systems in other countries like Israel. And even in the United States.
The hack in Oldsmar, Florida, last Friday took place just 12 miles from the Super Bowl stadium and occurred just 2 days before the big game. It was thwarted by an alert plant supervisor. The hacker was in and out within 5 minutes. A similar hack took place in Israel 3 times last year. In April, suspected Iranian hackers targeted Israel's water system by increasing chlorine levels in water flowing to residential areas. Israeli officials have offered to help with the Florida case. Quote, the Israel National Cyber Directorate has contacted its U.S. equivalents about the case as part of the standard and accepted information sharing in the cyber field. In 2013, Iranian hackers infiltrated the control system of a small dam less than 20 miles from New York City. Details of that intrusion remain classified. Experts have called the Florida hack ham-handed and the result of using remote access software connected to the internet with no apparent firewall. All the employees of this water treatment facility accessed the program using the same password. There are 151,000 municipal water treatment facilities in the U.S., all of them potentially vulnerable to this kind of attack. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
So, anyone want to guess how a dog who recently became a multi-millionaire is going to spend the rest of his life? Going to learn how this all happened in the first place when we come back. An inheritance has made a Tennessee dog a multi-millionaire. Yes, multi-millionaire. This is Lulu. An 8-year-old border collie. She's $5 million richer after her owner, Bill Doris, a successful businessman, left his fortune to her care when he passed away last year. Lulu is going to stay with Martha Burton, who has taken care of the animal for years while her friend Lulu's owner often traveled. Doris's will specified that the $5 million trust is to provide for all the needs of Lulu, and the dog is to remain in the possession of Martha Burton. Now, when I first read this, I thought, this is crazy. This is crazy. I love dogs, with all my heart, but this is crazy. But the more I thought about it, I said, this is what I would do if it happened to me. Just spend that money on both things that you and the dog love to do, like maybe get an RV, travel, go places where you can hike, right? Make some cool life memories. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
The pandemic has been rough on a lot of businesses in the food service industry, but some have managed to succeed and even expand. You're about to meet 2 Joplin eateries that are doing just that, coming up.
Plus, the Gordon Parks Museum in Fort Scott, Kansas explores the history of a largely African-American abandoned cemetery. 2 Joplin food trucks selling completely different types of cuisine have managed to succeed during this pandemic, even expanding operations to include brick and mortar locations now. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the owners of Bacon Me Crazy and Ghetto Tacos to learn how they did it.
The Bacon Me Crazy and Ghetto Tacos food trucks were taking a day off today because of the weather, but that doesn't mean their owners weren't busy. Both of them are preparing to open brick and mortar locations which will complement their popular Joplin area food trucks. And both say the main reason is because of customer loyalty and demand.
We couldn't do it without the 4-state area, without Joplin. I think it's the customer base that stood behind us.
It's been a blessing for us, and everything is all our customers. And without them, we won't be where we are.
The pandemic has been rough on restaurants, but running a food truck took a lot of the pressure off Bacon Me Crazy and Ghetto Tacos.
I think being outdoors and people can stand far apart and you're not situated in a certain area, I think it definitely helped us and got us through that time.
We had our social distance, like we set up cones and everything, or 6 feet apart, and so people just came and they really followed those rules.
Both of these eatery owners say offering a quality product in a safe environment was the key to surviving the pandemic and building a customer base that ultimately led to their expansions. And while other restaurants were cutting hours and trimming staffs, Ghetto Tacos and Bacon Me Crazy were moving in the opposite direction.
We didn't have to cut hours. Actually, we brought in more people.
We had to hire at least another person just to help us.
In Joplin and Webb City, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Bacon Me Crazy expects their new Joplin location at the home of the former Eagle Drive-In to be open at the beginning of March. Ghetto Tacos is hopeful their new Webb City location will open sometime in April. Chances are not too many people know about the Mayhew Cemetery over in Fort Scott, Kansas. It's been forgotten about. That shouldn't be, though, because it's still important. There is a presentation at the Gordon Parks Museum at Fort Scott Community College talking about this predominantly African-American, now abandoned cemetery. The cemetery was active, though, from 1868 to 1937. And unfortunately, there are no tombstones right now to mark the graves of at least 176 early Fort Scott and Bourbon County citizens who are buried there. A deadly, destructive wreck in Texas involving more than 100 cars and trucks. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has video of the interstate pileup and what may have been the cause.
The scene we saw today is one really unlike one probably any of us have ever seen.
The death toll is rising in Texas after severe icy weather caused a massive pileup in Fort Worth Thursday, resulting in more than 100 vehicles colliding in a pile of metal and glass. Police are sharing new information about the crash as victims trapped in the wreckage and rescue crews who saved them began to come to terms with what happened.
It appears at this point in the investigation, which is still very preliminary, that ice was a factor. On a personal note for Fort Worth PD, we had 4 officers that were injured.
So many people have lost loved ones or had them injured, and that pain is just incredible.
At least 6 people are dead. Dozens more were pulled from their cars and transported to area hospitals. Officials say at least another several dozen received medical treatments as a result of the injuries they sustained. The number is expected to go up over the next several days. Firefighters, meanwhile, carefully maneuvering around debris, also working to free a dog stuck in the back of a pickup truck. Besides feelings of sadness, first responders say witnessing a tragedy of this magnitude is earth-shattering.
We train for this type of a scenario,
but you never really expect it to happen.
But this wasn't the only deadly crash in Texas. In fact, at least 3 more people lost their lives in an accident in Dallas, with authorities responding to more than 130 crashes by Thursday evening because of icy weather in the state. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Goodness. All right, a bit later, COVID-19 data.
A top aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo reportedly admits to withholding data on nursing home deaths. I'm Laura Ingle in New York. Details straight ahead.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a very cold, nasty day once again for us. Today's temperatures, they struggled to get up into the mid-teens for highs, and it's going to get worse over the next couple days. Checking out our time lapse, this is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, and of course you can see the clouds all day long, and really some light snow throughout the evening hours. We've had a very minor dusting across the region, just kind of really blowing around, but that's going to continue tonight and even some flurries for us tomorrow. But look at the temps, 8 to 10 degrees for most of us right now. Then you factor in the light wind. Look at our wind chills. Yates Center -6, -9. Iola feels like 1 in Commerce, -3 in Neosho. So again tonight we're going to have wind chills that are going to be dropping -5 to -10. We have all kinds of advisories out there, but really the bottom line here is we have a winter storm, which we are watching over the next couple days. And then also on top of that, the extreme cold. We get cold every winter, but it's only about once every 5 to 7 years that we get this cold for this long. And that's what we're going to see as we go through the week and into next week. Look at the light snow showers across the region, some kind of decent sized flakes, but again, nothing's really sticking. It's just kind of blowing around, but we have seen a dusting. We're going to continue to pick up maybe a dusting throughout the overnight hours for us tonight, but at least the more persistent snow is staying up to our north across Nebraska and also parts of Iowa. Next storm system pulling out across the southwestern parts of the U.S. That's the one that will start to affect us as we head into tomorrow night and then also into Sunday. Here's the wide view. So by Sunday morning, you can see the snow kind of overtaking the region. Then we'll have periods of snow throughout the daytime hours on Sunday. We'll get a pretty good band that's going to roll in Sunday night, and then we're going to get clipped by another band that is going to roll in on Monday. So these 3 waves all added up together is definitely going to give us some accumulation across the region. Let's go ahead and break this down. For us tomorrow, I think clouds, some flurries, maybe a few light little snow showers. 11 by noon, high temp of 15. Still that north wind at about 10 to 15, which gives us low wind chills. Here's our first band of snow moving in 4, 5, 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. Light snow through the morning into the early afternoon. We may get a little bit of a lull, and then we'll see light snow pushing back in Sunday evening into Sunday night, the heaviest along and south of I-44. As we head into Monday, we get this last band that will roll in late morning into the afternoon, but that could also be some moderate snow across the region. So as we look at amounts, the lightest amounts are going to be to our north. I would say Topeka to Kansas City about 1 to 3. Most of us are going to be in a 3 to 6 band. And then to our south, I think 6 to 9 inches once you get in our far southern counties. But it is very possible that we could be closer to that 6 and even isolated higher amounts. I'm being conservative on these amounts, and then we'll see. We'll adjust them as we head into tomorrow. But we're definitely going to get snow from this system. 15 tomorrow, 8 on Valentine's, only 3 on Monday, and we bottom out actual temperature -10 Monday night.
Hot chocolate, hot tea, hot coffee, hot apple cider, all that stuff sounds good right about now.
Space heaters.
Yeah. Safely. Doug Heddy. Yeah. Thank you so much. Coming up in sports, Frontenac's Ty Gates signing to play football over at Pitt State. Plus, it's the opening day of the Indoor Gorilla Classic. Jacob Leonard joins us with details next.
Pittsburgh girls suffered just their 3rd loss of the season last night, falling to Labette County 50-36. And with that loss, the 5th-ranked Dragons are now 10-3 overall this season. They don't have to wait long to try to bounce back. Pittsburgh at home tonight with another SEK League game against Chanute. First quarter, long pass to Madden Petty. She gets the 3 to drop. Petty had a game-high 31. Pitt opens on an 11-3 run. To the second quarter now, Cheyenne Hunt gets the rebound, puts it back for 2. At that point, Dragons up 12. Third quarter, Corey Babcock with the step-back triple. She had a team-high 24 points. Comets, though, still down 10. Then, got a little history here. Petty open on the right side, and that shot there puts Madden Petty over 1,000 career points. Pitt leads by 13 going to the fourth. Now, in the fourth, Petty with the pass to Jay in Minifield. She puts it up in the paint. Pittsburgh gets the win 55-47. Madden Petty, newest member of the 1,000-point club.
As a coach, you're just happy because they're happy. And like just seeing how happy she was, and like we kind of kept it a secret from her. She didn't even know. And so to see the surprise on her face, that was awesome. And that's the kind of stuff you get into coaching for.
To the boys' game, Pittsburgh aims for its 4th win in 5 games tonight. First quarter, Elijah Thornton through the paint, lays it in. Dragons up 4-zip. Then Javon Grant with the stop and shoot 2. Grant gets a game-high 22 tonight. Pitt up 5 early in the first. Later, check it out. Grant with the no-look to Jackson Turnbull. Dragons up 3. Second quarter, Chanute trying to claw back in the ballgame. Carter Coombs drives, puts it up, cuts the lead to 8. But back to Grant, scooping it home here. Dragons push the lead to 16. Chanute rallies late, but Pittsburgh holds on to win it 55-52. Well, another Frontenac senior is trading in the black and white for the crimson and gold. Ty Gates signs this afternoon to continue his football career with the Gorillas next season. Gates, been a good one for the Raiders for years now, earning first-team All-State recognition. He'll play corner for Pitt State, but really he can do it all. His senior year last fall, he finished with 230 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. On defense, Gates racked up 35 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 interceptions.
It actually means a lot. I've been dreaming about playing college football all my life. I just never thought this moment would come, and I'm just very thankful. Another part of it is the family bonding. There's the second I stopped in there for an official visit, there's coaches wanting to meet me, everybody wanting to meet me. I just felt welcomed and ready to be there.
Today is the opening day of the 6th annual Gorilla Indoor Classic at Pitt State. Now, this year's field consists of 10 teams, as well as athletes from Division I schools Cameron and Missouri State. Now, today, we start with a few field events. Chase Dalton, first attempt in the men's weight throw. It's actually his best of the day, 51 feet 10 inches. That's good for 3rd place. A women's weight throw, final throw of the day for Cameron Williams. It is her best, 51 feet 10 inches. That will get her 3rd. Rachel Malloy from Central Missouri gets the best mark today, sets a personal record, 56 feet 9 inches. Women's high jump, Pitt State's Megan Ekman clears 5 feet 5 1/4 inches. That's the best Division II mark of the day. Missouri State's Jessica Haney, though, she won it. Not only that, but clears 5 feet 10 inches. A new PR for the Missouri State sophomore.
It feels great. I was honestly surprised at myself today. I just got off of a 2-hour bus ride, so I was not expecting to do as well as I did. So I'm very happy. I've been waiting on this PR for a long time, so I was extremely happy to finally get it.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Controversy over New York's nursing home deaths takes another turn with an admission by a top aide to Governor Andrew Cuomo. Fox News correspondent Laura Ingle has more.
The New York Post reporting yesterday, a top aide to Governor Cuomo admitted the administration withheld the state's true COVID nursing home death tally. According to the report, the secretary to the governor, Melissa DeRosa, privately apologized during a video call with state Democratic leaders, saying the administration froze out of fear federal prosecutors would use the true numbers against them.
They could have just communicated all that to us, but they chose not to. They kept everyone in the dark.
New York's nursing home death toll nearly 50% higher than reported, jumping from 8,500 to 15,000 nursing home patients. A senior advisor to Governor Cuomo telling Fox News, quote, "We explained that the Trump administration was in the midst of a politically motivated effort to blame Democratic states for COVID deaths and that we were cooperating with federal document productions, and that was the priority. And now that it is over, we can address the state legislature." The report comes as information obtained by the Associated Press finds more than 9,000 recovering COVID patients were released from hospitals into nursing homes during the early days of the pandemic. That's more than 40% higher than what the state's health department first released.
The policies of having people go back into facilities without any proof of vetting of those facilities to make sure that they can handle the residents, it's of course very alarming.
State health officials have maintained asymptomatic employees drove nursing home outbreaks. In New York, Laura Ingle, Fox News.
All right, gonna wrap things up with some fun. Check it out, a new Netflix comedy about NASCAR. KOAM star Kevin James has a new comedy set in the world of NASCAR. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin introduces us to The Crew.
She can't fire us all. We're a family.
Kevin James and the crew are revved up to introduce their new Netflix sitcom.
I was a fan when I was a little kid. I don't know why. I grew up on Long Island and I just was drawn to Richard Petty. I used to draw number 43, pictures of him all the time. It's an amazing world that really I've never seen before in a workplace comedy.
Cast members spoke about why they feel the world of NASCAR makes a good workplace comedy.
Every weekend they have a race, so there's so much room for drama.
There's still the politics of, getting the work done. I'm the old dog trying to hold on to the old ways.
From, say, my character who's this old kind of crotchety, old school, doesn't want anything to change, to Amir's character, very technologically advanced. And it gets amplified by the stress of we gotta race, we gotta get to, everybody's got to work together as a team.
The actors learned along the way from the pros.
I've met some very cool people racers and people that work with NASCAR, and there's so much that goes into it. I had no idea. It's not just driving cars around the track, y'all.
And James says comedic chemistry here just clicked.
I don't think I've had a show before where I felt this click as fast. Even the King of Queens, where, I was so solid with them, and it took time, not with Leah, but with other, you just feel like it takes a moment, and then there's like you get into your rhythm, and like any new relationship, we hit the ground running. We hung out, off camera as well.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Seems like a good series. Just in case if you are a NASCAR fan, there's a real-life race to tune into over the weekends. Sunday's season opening event, the 63rd Daytona 500, airs 1:30 p.m. Central Time, of course. That's for us right here on Fox 14. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of animals at a Chicago zoo eating Valentine's Day treats. Have a lovely weekend. Be safe no matter what weather throws at us. Do this all again tomorrow. I'll see you then.